Hello, Laoshi Lawrence McElroy here for Water Tiger School of Taijiquan. It's a pre-recorded session that we're now doing for our Monday presentations. Water Tiger for Sachem. This is a Water Tiger for Sachem for Monday, November 30th, 2020. So I hope you have moved since Thursday, worked off some of that turkey, some of that stuffing, some of the green bean casserole. By the way, put bacon in your green bean casserole. Oh my gosh. So anyway, that means today is the day before December 1st, and that's World AIDS Day. So that's the reason for this t-shirt. PC stands for Voices That Care, which is a play that premiered on June 7th of 1996, which is my adaptation of Neil Hitchens' collection of stories, Voices That Care, stories and encouragements for people with AIDS, HIV, and those who care for them. So anyway, that's the reason for the t-shirt. So just take a moment and contemplate that the AIDS pandemic is still going on all these years later. So anyway, so there's that. Today, what we're going to do, another non-traditional walking exercise, a little combination of two postures from Water Tiger School's approach, version of the 24 posture medium frame, young style. And to warm up, I thought we'd do a hamstring stretch that we haven't done before. It's sort of a supported or an elevated hamstrings, single leg hamstring stretch. So we'll do a little aerobic warm-up first and then get to that hamstring stretch. I think that's about it. I don't have a lot of other news. Some libraries are going remote, others aren't. They have to, do what's right with their programs and their resources. And we are on Long Island in the state of New York seeing an increase in the rate of infection. We're actually over the 3% for Suffolk County, not by much. But New York State has announced that they're doing micro clusters as their approach and not shutting down like an entire region at this time. Now, it may change. So anyway, the studio is still open, I guess is what I'm saying, for in-person and blended in-person and remote classes. And libraries are still closed to, public in-person classes. Their community rooms are all shuttered at this time. So let's just get going this morning. We'll see what we have. So I'm going to give you some versions of some different aerobic exercises. So I go pretty full bore. See, I'm recording this as if, we're recording this as if live. So that's not going to be edited out. I'm not going to, do take two unless something really, really drastic happens, like if I fall over the step stool that I have here. By the way, this is what we mean by an elevated hamstring stretch. So I'm going to chat a little bit longer about that before I do the aerobic warm-up, so you can sort of choose and maybe go grab an object to use. Now, your leg is elevated, so it's no longer on the floor. Maybe that's the height you need. You have the chair possibility. You have a nice sturdy chair or something that's not going to tilt and wobble. So, you could make that choice, and I'll show you what I mean by that as we do the actual elevated hamstring stretch. But something that's going to support you, boom, you have the chair. Now, this isn't necessarily the highest thing I have next to my training area, but it's about as high as I want to go, and everything that's higher is too much work. So maybe this is what you need, something that's at this height. Maybe you have a countertop nearby where you're watching this. Whatever. Boom. So when we get to the hamstring stretch, you're going to need something that works within your mobility. But again, the aerobic warm-up, I just want to get a little blood and oxygen going to the muscles, warm them up a little bit. These mornings are a little bit chillier, generally speaking. Maybe not so much where you are right now. Where I am, it's okay, but my workout space, there's no air system down here. So as the temperatures start to get colder outside, it's a little chillier down here. So I want to get my blood and my oxygen going, my muscles warmed, and you know it's all about me. So we're going to start with a little march. Now the march can be, you know, as high or as low as your range of motion. You want to make targets with your hands, palms down, lightly closed fists. You can do one of each. And then the height, you know, of your range of motion, that's where you want to set them. So if you got a nice range, not nice, that's the wrong word. If you have a higher range of motion, then hands are going to be higher. If you have a lower range of motion, they're going to be lower. I'm going to get my little timer here. Probably put this in airplane mode. Get my clock going. Because we're going to do 20-second intervals. So we're going to march. Just knees up. Again, a height that works for you. You want to bring your knees to your hands, not your hands to your knees. We're already about 15 seconds into the first march. The second march, we're going to go wide. We're going to widen the knees. Looks a little silly, but it changes the feeling. It sort of brings the motion a little bit more into the hip flexors, the abductors, the adductors, the IT band. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, we go to our run. So knees up. Now you can sort of do a little jogging march. We don't have to, we're not sprinting. If this, even if you just want to raise the heels, get a little bounce going, boom. Now we're going to widen the knees here, too. But again, really looks silly when you're running. Breathing, relaxing, and releasing. Now we're going to do a little let's actually do micro jacks to start. So just like this, but you can do the step version. So I'm not going very high with my arms at all. I'm going to do this for 20 seconds, and I'm going to do half jacks for 20 seconds. And half jacks are a little bit higher, but again, you can do the step version. Breathing, relaxing, and releasing. And the last thing I'm going to do are run lunges. So leg and arm, doing a pull version. So again, you can, I don't think I've ever done this non-ballistically. Or get busy with it. Or again, maybe you're just doing this. Shaking out. I didn't do a really good job with the run lunges. That was kind of ugly. Like I said, I had never slowed those down before. I hadn't thought about that until I decided, hey, let's do run lunges. So you can hear I'm breathing, right? So the idea of an elevated single leg hamstring stretch is, we've done versions of the scoop, polka stretch, just a reach. I think we've done a reach version of that. I know I have. So this just brings the foot up a little bit higher. So you're also playing with your balance a little bit, but not much. This is what I mean. It's a different kind of stretch because if you, and please nobody do this, if you use a stability ball, then you have to work on controlling the ball as you're also working the stretch. I haven't done that in a long time, can you tell? So you really want something that doesn't move. And at a height that works for you. This is fine. You know, people think that, oh, you know, he's got that big box, I have to go that high. No, you don't. Right? You have to honor your range of motion. And that's how you get from here to the chair to the unopened shelving unit. Right? So you want to dorsiflex the toes. And by the way, if you can't even really come down too far, you get something like an exercise strap. Hook it on your foot. And there you go. Or a towel, you know, or an exercise band. Look, my back is mostly straight as I'm doing this. Or you get busy with it. Right. Boom, leg is straight, knee is not open. There's no stretch there. Right. So breathing. I'm going to do a little bit here. Breathing. Every exhalation, just seeing if I can fold down a little bit deeper into my stretch. Back, the weighted leg is bent, by the way, in this particular position. As you go higher, you may want to make that a straight and strong yoga-like leg. And get the other side on the low. And breathe. And again, just so you can see the difference, there's the chair height. Nothing really changes except the height of the foot. Or, this isn't the supersonic version. Supersonic version is like up here somewhere. Now, this leg isn't as bent as the other leg gets higher. But again, not collapsing yet. I mean, there can come a time to collapse. This isn't as sturdy as I would like. I just realized doing the stretch. Gonna go to the left leg. You can switch back and forth a little bit. I just want to get my hamstring. I almost called it a hammy. I really am not a fan of calling the hamstring a hammy. This knee will have a tendency to pop up if you want to keep it down. So again, you maybe you're at this height, but you really can't bend over because things are just too tight. It's getting all the stretch it needs right here. But then eventually you find, you know, a few weeks of this, maybe a couple of months, oh, I can sort of lean into this a little bit. A couple of more months, oh look, right? And when I grab my foot, I'm using the arms, the leverage to support the stretch, but not instigate the stretch. I'm not pulling to get myself deeper because I can feel the resistance in my hamstring. I'm a relatively strong guy. I could really pull myself almost on top of my leg, but I would probably scream as the hamstring snapped and have to crawl over and turn off the camera and try to get a hold of my wife upstairs to bring crutches or a cane down. So there you go. It's a heightened or elevated single leg hamstring stretch at a height that works for you. And there's other things in between these different heights as well. So I'm going to clear this stuff off. I did not lay down my blue lines that are sort of a staple for these kinds of exercises. So I might do that and chat a little bit, so I apologize. For that fact. So it may be recorded, but it's live, folks. Something screws up, I screw up. My crew of thousands of people screws up. And that was a joke, by the way. Then I have to cover. So I'm taping down these two blue lines because the walking exercise we're going to do does involve our Tai Chi stance. it's from two postures later in our 24, and our shoulder width is the drop of the shoulder. Drop of the shoulder should split the foot in half. And I'm sort of feeling right now where things are, because that's where you want to get with your shoulder width. You want to be able to feel if you're shoulder wide or not, and not have to go, am I there? Or use taped lines all the time. And let's see, where's my foot? Which line is my foot on? That line. So, did somebody tell me the other day she's from a public class that, of course, is also suspended. But at the time of the pandemic, she was actually not in the class because she had had an accident. Or as my mom would have said, an accident. And as a result of that accident, she was taking PT, physical therapy. And on the first day, the physical therapist told her to step out shoulder width, and she did. And the physical therapist was like, wow, not very many people get that right the first time. So, this stuff works, right? So, okay, so anyway, those two postures slammed together as a walking exercise are kick with heel, which in our form is normally done with the weight on the left foot, and the kick with the right heel. And it's followed by that withdraw, hopefully not falling over as I'm doing right now, stepping into our Tai Chi Stance and doing twin dragons. So the thing with both of those postures, kick with heel, you want your vertical alignment, crown point of the head, base of the pelvic bowl, ball of the foot sitting down into the leg. It's actually turn in kick with heel, because when you come up into the preparation, chambering the knee, notice the hands are butterflied with the left on top and the right on bottom, because the right hand's going to go up. And in Water Tiger School's approach, we want to have that extra little feeling of spiral. Boom. Right hand up, sort of palm facing toward where the wall and the ceiling meet. Palm down as if on a stool. And leg extended. You know, you can be down here. Heel can be touching the ground, maybe even weighted a little bit. You can be about the height of the step stool. You can be about the height of the chair. Not sure if Lawrence is going to get any higher today. Boom, you can be a little bit higher. The withdraw is one of the first times as I was teaching in the 24 that I ever used marionette-like moment. Because from that extension, I'm really spending too much time on this left leg. Pull in and see how the foot and the hand seem to be connected. And then a double brush of the knee, boom, into our Tai Chi Stance, and we'll break down the Tai Chi Stance in a moment. And from that downward sweep, up, want to keep the chest sunken back, rounded. You don't want to have to fight shoulder impingement, so it might be more up to the sides, and then in. Twin dragons. Notice they're vertical fists, but upside down, so the thumb side is on the bottom, pinky side is on the top, and they're right at my temples. And the space of my head, not squishing my head, not driving them together. They're not up like this. And by the way, if you do have a shoulder impingement that sort of makes that height bad for you, then use the width of your head, but go to a height that doesn't trigger the shoulder impingement. So those are the two postures that we're going to thread together. We're going to switch from side to side and take a few steps to introduce you to that idea. But I want to outline the Tai Chi Stance. So I am shoulder wide. I have the feeling I'm about one set of squares wider than I should be here. But the back foot is at a 45 or thereabouts. Reason I say or thereabouts, like right now, my left leg, my left ankle is acting up a little bit. I have some metal in my left ankle into my top of my foot. And sometimes I can't get to the 45, and this is one of those times. Otherwise, it should be the 45. Heel at my shoulder width. The other foot, heel, yeah, I am definitely not quite in the right spot. You know how I knew that? I stepped without looking where the blue line was, and my heel landed at my shoulder width, not on the blue line. So I know I marked the wrong spot. Oh yeah, I can feel that. So heel on the blue line at my shoulder width. Heel, shoulder width is always denoted by heels and where the heels are, not where the ball of the foot is. See, the ball of my left foot is now on my blue line, but I'm not shoulder wide because it has to be my heel. Front toe, toes pointed forward or in when I'm in this position. Yes, there'll be a transition where we rock back and turn those toes out to do the next kick, but in four stance, in twin dragons, 70-30, hips, shoulders square. Knee over ankle is safest. Knee over top of the foot is okay. Knee over beyond toes, bad. Toes out in four stance position, bad. Toes forward or in. Tai Chi is often recommended as physical therapy for people who have issues with their knees or who are recovering from knee surgery. Done properly, it helps. Tai Chi done improperly with the feet in the wrong position, if you start with healthy knees, you're going to have problems. So this is our stance. This is the end of posture. And to get from one side to the other, we're going to rock back, sort of boom in the direction from whence we came. We're going to turn that now right foot out and come in. Since I'm going to be kicking with the left foot, normally it's a kick, turn, and kick with ball left. We're going to keep it at the heel with the twin dragons walk. Left hand's going to be underneath, right hand's going to be on top. I'm going to turn to face the direction I'm traveling. Kick with left heel, right hand down, left hand, sort of where the ceiling and the wall meet. I'm going to withdraw, double brush the knee, step to my four stance position, and twin dragons chase golden pearl. Now my camera angle sort of makes it look like I'm tilted, and now I'm not, but now I am tilted. So this is me straight. I'm going to come in and do a little casual close. So you want to use the casual close to also explore whole body movement. Right? You don't want to finish a posture and come in and just move the arms. A while back we ran across a meme from Chengmen Ching. You know, if you are moving your arms in your Tai Chi is worthless. You want the arms, the hands, everything to move through the whole body. You move from the center, expanding, compressing, folding, unfolding, out from the center. So the whole body moves. So from that last step, notice another marionette-like moment. I release, I'm filling the weight. I'm filling that leg with my weight, bringing in the back foot. So hands roll over the top of the ball, heels in the air. I press down. I can sink the body or I can lengthen the body as the hands go down. So there's connected movement above and below. And then a little rebound. Through the whole body brings the hands to my Shiadantian acupuncture point. So in a different way than yoga looks at the phrase as below, so above. It is as below, so above, and as above, so below for our Tai Chi play. So that's the idea of the casual close. That's an outline of kick with heel, twin dragons, walk. So a non-traditional little walking exercise for you. Twin dragons chase golden pearl. Other people might call it other things. Fist to ears is one of the things that comes to mind. So that's a different target. That's actually a little bit lower than temples. It's also a little bit farther back in the head. So, gonna settle in. We have these two components. Kick, which a while back I meant to look at the dates before we went into production today. Actually doing this video long before Monday. But anyway, I neglected to check that particular note. So settling in, playing, finding my balance, shaking things out. Take a pass here. Talking through. Not gonna do my best not to keep us on one leg for very long. Remember, when you're on the left foot and kicking with the right foot, the right hand should be below. And by the way, when I say butterfly, I know I was away from the camera when I said that. This is what I mean by butterflied. There's a time right before the first kick where we have the stacked hands. And within our 24, we have two positions, depending upon which kick it is, where they're butterflied palm up, and another one where they're butterflied palm down. So, it's FYI. Usually the kick in the form, because we're coming up out of a low stance, we're pressing down, where the right hand is below, but it's palm down to then swing out for the kick. But in the kick walk, they're both palms up. So little differences when we pull these things out in non-traditional walking exercises. But the integrity of the postures themselves and the transitions are not harmed by those small alterations. So finding my balance, crown point of the head, base of the pelvic bowl, ball of the foot, relaxing, letting structure and gravity hold me up. As I turn and kick with heel right, I withdraw, step to my shoulder width, turning from that 45 into Twin Dragons, Chase Golden Pearl, rocking back, turning out, notice sort of just reversing that arc, turning that foot to the 45. Left hand's going to come in below, right hand above, chambering. Now notice, I'm not lifting the leg and straightening it. I'm chambering the knee, and the knee determines then the height of the kick. Kick with heel left, withdraw, step. This big sweep is two directional. There's Twin Dragons. There's the release of Twin Dragons. Pivoting, right hand's coming in below, palm up, left hand on top, palm up, chambering. Knee height helps determine height of kick. Withdraw, step, turn into my 4 stance, hips square, shoulders square, 70, 30, 60, 40, 80, 20 maybe. Right, boom. Rock back, hands open, turn out, settling into my vertical alignment and my structure, chambering the leg, kick with heel left, step. Now we started, oops, almost did a kick walk there, with a step to the right after a right kick, so that means we need to finish with a step to the left. Boom. So this was the side on which we started. Rock back, turn out. Remember, when we turn out, we want to be careful with that back knee. I'm a little late in the game in this, right? But I don't want to pull that knee sideways with me. The quad opens up like the pages of a book. That keeps my back leg, at this point the weighted leg, the knee the same direction as my back toes. Coming in, that heel releases when it has to. The anchor at the perineum is starting to pull the perineum down, so I can slide into my vertical alignment and then turn into my kick. Withdraw, so I'm at that angle, step, turning a little bit into that step because of the big physical movement, and then finishing the turn into forward. Boom. And there's Twin Dragons, Chase Golden Pearl. At the height of my temples, if I have that range of motion, at a space that is the distance width of my head. And a little casual closing. So I apologize for not giving that qua opens, and qua is where the inner upper thigh comes into contact with the pelvic bowl. Groin, a little bit less pretty language until that very end. But you want to make sure when you're stepping and filling that foot that you're not pulling the back knee with you. And as you turn and turn that foot out, again, this hip is rotating out. This hip is also rotating out. The back hip is rotating in the opposite direction. That's what we mean by opening like the pages of a book, to keep that knee pointed in the same direction. So, bad Lawrence. But there you go. Little bit of an elevated single leg hamstring stretch and a new for this series, 2 posture walking exercise from Water Tiger School's approach to the medium frame, Jung style, 24 posture, short form. So as always, I hope you have found this little session of use. I appreciate your time and attention. And again, please, folks, mask up, keep physically distant, limit your excursions, just be careful. We need to get on top of this. So thanks. We'll be doing something else for next Monday. Again, this series is going to stay pre-recorded. And thanks. You'll see me next time.